let's talk about this last episode of 90 Day Hunt for Love. I've already talked about Rob, Jennifer, and Cole in a separate video, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. But in this video, I specifically want to talk about Courtney, Usman, and Colt. Who would have ever guessed we would have seen Usman and Colt fighting over Courtney this season? That is just wild to me. I would have never expected Usman and Courtney. Number one, just because Courtney doesn't fit the age limit, and number two, they just don't seem like they go together, in my opinion. And honestly, it just does not even feel like Usman is really into Courtney. It just feels like he is trying to latch on to someone because he knows no one else is interested in him because they see through him. So he's trying to latch on to somebody before he gets sent home, and Courtney's his best option. And I feel like if he really liked Courtney like that, then he would have went for it back in Istanbul when they hung out. And I really think they hooked up before. I'm not buying that they've never hooked up before. You guys let me know what you think. I just don't see Usman as the type to sit there and drop all these coins to fly out to Istanbul and sit there and spend all day, every day, going out on dates, spending time together, and even sleeping in the same hotel together for over a week and not hooking up. Nope, I have a hard time buying that. So Usman wants to try to go to Courtney's room because I think he thinks, let me just get her alone and let me give her the D, and then next thing you know, she's going to be digmatized, and then she's going to want me, and we can be together. Here's the thing, though. Usman has zero game because he's used to having old women flaunt all over him and chase him. He's used to being the catch and being the one that's chased. He's not used to having to chase women, so he really has no game when it comes to women because all he's used to saying is hi and having women's panties drop. But he realizes it's a lot harder in a typical day-to-day situation to get somebody your own age. So now we see Usman trying to flirt with Courtney, and the dude has no game at all. He does not know how to flirt because he's used to having older women flaunt all over him and being the primary object of desire and attention. And I feel like he is used to being the catch or having women chase him, and he likes that because for him it's a continuous source of ego validation, and he doesn't have to work for their attention. It's given freely, so now he doesn't know how to work for other people's attention. Plus, I think with all these years of him being chased by older women, it's kind of bred an unconscious expectation that women should always be the one to initiate and impress him, so he really doesn't know how to approach women. He thinks women are supposed to approach him, and when a woman his age doesn't behave that way, he might interpret it as a lack of interest rather than a different dating style, because women in their 50s and 60s have a different dating style compared to a woman in her 30s. Like, a woman his own age is going to require different skills because they're going to want confidence without arrogance. They're going to want genuine interest, and they're going to want engaging conversations that go beyond him talking about him being an international superstar, and they want to see him be vulnerable and understanding and see his priorities and life goals. But it doesn't really seem like Soulja Boy's trying to talk about any of that. He just thinks as long as he gets between them cheeks that Courtney's going to be happy, and he really doesn't have to put any effort beyond that. And I just don't think that's going to work for Courtney. We already see that it's not really working for her. Courtney wants something more than that. She wants somebody who's going to talk to her and be on the level as her. And she wants somebody that's going to help take care of her. And I just don't see Usman as the type to take care of her because he's used to women taking care of him. And I just don't feel like he's really into her, because if you were really into her, then you would be putting more of an effort into getting to know her besides getting to know her vagina. Like, you would want to know her personally, like what are her favorite things to do, what is her family like, where, you know, all that kind of details. Like, when I really like somebody, I want to know everything about them. Okay, so Usman was able to talk Courtney into letting him come back to her room, and she's like, okay. And I feel like she really wasn't for this, but she was just trying to be nice to him, and I kind of feel like the producers probably kind of pushed this. They get back to Courtney's room. Usman and Courtney have been outside all day filming in Mexico, so they're both sweaty betties. They're sweating their asses off, and Usman's sweaty self just jumps onto her bed in his outside clothes, just sweating all over her bed. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, at least change into your pajamas, take a shower. And even Courtney was trying to drop subtle hints like, hey, you know, why don't you go change first? And Usman was like, change for what? Because he's used to older women accepting him as the sweaty Betty he is. And he was like, you know what? I don't think you really want me to be here. Because the whole time Courtney's just acting super awkward. Her body language, you could tell she wasn't feeling Usman in her room, especially laying right next to her on the bed. She kept just like putting her hair behind her ears and making these faces. And if her actual words weren't saying she didn't want Usman there, all her body language and the way she was acting was saying exactly that. So Usman was like, do you really want me here? If you want me to go, I can go. Because just a minute before that, he said he was about to get comfy and go to sleep with Courtney. And Courtney was like, you haven't even taken me on a date yet, but you want to spend the night here? That really doesn't make much sense to me. And kudos to Courtney, because I was scared that Courtney was just going to be willing to take the bare minimum, but I'm glad she's not willing to and telling him, like, look, dude, you got to put more effort in first before you get this coochie. Plus, we have Colt, and she said in the Between the Sheets episode, Colt's been taking her to lunch every single day and putting a lot more effort in compared to Usman. And I feel like if Colt wasn't there, then maybe she would have jumped the gun with Usman. But now she's seeing how much more effort Colt's putting into this and how genuine he is compared to Usman. And she's like, damn, Usman ain't even bought me a freaking meal or a chocolate bar. Usman really ain't shit. Like, Usman, the only thing he's thought about when it comes to Courtney is what she looks like without clothes. So Courtney was like, yeah, you know, you should probably go back to your room. And Usman was like, oh, so you're just going to beat around the bush? If you don't want me here, then just tell me that. And yes, she was beating around the bush before that, but she did literally just tell you, dude, she does not want you here. Open up your ears and listen. So he was like, you don't got to tell me no twice. So he went ahead and he got all his belongings. He took his sweaty ass back to his room and hopefully took a shower. And then later on we see Courtney and Usman meet up. Or not Courtney and Usman, but Colt and Usman. And they were going back and forth because they're fighting over Courtney. Usman and Colt were out by the beach talking, and Usman was like, yeah, dude, I don't know why you're going for Courtney, because he knows he needs to get rid of Colt out of this situation to have a chance with Courtney, because he's not about to try to put in really any effort. And he's like, yeah, you need to just give it up, man, because I'm a lot more man than you. And Colt was sitting down at the time, and Colt was like, you're glad I'm sitting down, buddy, because I would have rocked your ass if I was standing up for saying some disrespectful shit to me like that, trying to act like you're more man than me. When really, Usman is not any more man than Colt, and honestly, Colt has more game than Usman, and that's why he's really mad at the end of the day. And did you guys notice Colt was sitting there and you could see the gnarly scar he had from his leg injury? It's huge. Like, it literally goes from his ankles to his knee, and it looks like it's on his right leg. And I'm sorry, like, if I had a scar like that, I would be trying to hide it at all costs. But he's just flaunting it. He don't mind. He's showing it to the whole world. And I guess we're eventually going to see him break his leg or hurt his leg again at some point at this Hunt for Love retreat. He's the one we're going to see taken away on a stretcher. And apparently Courtney helped take care of him for a while after the retreat back at her parents' house. And I had no idea she was still living with her parents. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.